Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to Market Pulse with Aditya and Nikita. So yesterday also Aditya had predicted that he's biased on the upside, and the same thing happened. Although there was a lot of volatility today in both the indices. So let's get started for tomorrow. So before that, I just wanted to remind you guys that we had actually spotted this particular pole and flag pattern on the monthly time frame, and the target is very nearby, closed at around 24,800 today, and the target is around 24,860. So please do keep it in mind, and this would be an ideal level to book out some profits. I would not say all, but if I would have been like in case of my portfolio, I would actually look out to book at least 50% of my profit around 24,860 to 25,000 zone, and then I would like to trade it out. So this is exactly where I would look to book out a good chunk of my profit, and then I would like to trail the rest of it, because no one knows exact top and no one can predict the exact bottom. So there are two rules when it comes to profit booking. The one is selling into strength. The other one is when there is a change in the trend. That's where you book out. So this one of booking out around 24,860 to 25,000 is more of selling into strength. Anyways, that was from portfolio perspective. Now let's go on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, week after week, for the past 4 consecutive weeks, we are closing at closing above the previous ATH, and currently trading at fresh ATH. And now let's go on the daily. Today we have got a very good candle, I would say. This is as per these kind of candles, we are getting this kind of a candle after a very long time. Otherwise, this doji kind of a candle doesn't exactly give us any clarity as to who is winning and who is in control. But today's candle clearly shows us that the buyers are in control, and they would like to protect today's low, at least for tomorrow. Now let's see. Let's go on the 15-minute time frame. So coming to the 15-minute time frame, what I can clearly see, despite this kind of a volatility, wherein now you can clearly see that it's a W, but while it was happening, obviously wasn't that easy to spot that kind of a W. And what we can clearly see that now this one is an immediate support, which is 24,600 to 24,661, and I'm expecting tomorrow at least this low, today's low, should be held on to at least till tomorrow. These are the rest of the support levels. Now there are two events. One is Infosys results, which was expected today post markets, and I believe that has been already released. The results are really good for Infosys as well, and Infosys closed at a fresh 52-week high today. So for tomorrow, what we can see that, as I mentioned, in case of Nifty, today's low should be held into, which is 24,500. Now let's go to Bank Nifty. And in case of a Bank Nifty, what we have seen, finally we have broken this particular resistance. Today also it tried to go up, but immediately got rejected. But thereafter, in the second half, when it gave a breakout, that got sustained into. Even if it comes down, it should ideally retest and move up. If at all it comes down, else we are expecting it to make a up move. Now there are two things. Remember, on Saturday we have HDFC Bank results, so it is quite possible that post 3 p.m. we might see some abnormal move. These moves are usually done by insiders who usually know what the results would be in case of HDFC Bank, and usually we have seen around 3 p.m. you will suddenly see some sort of a strong buying if the results are really good. Okay, only in that case, we might see a strong buy. Now, a very important point in case of Bank Nifty is to remember that Bank Nifty is still trading within this particular range. It has not even broken this 52,800 even now. This level has been tested quite many times now, and this resistance is very weak now. I'll quickly take you to the weekly time frame. So if you see, this was our last week's candle, the doji candle, where the high of the doji was 52,794. We basically need a strong closing above this particular previous week's high to get a confirmation that the buyers are back in business. So if it happens tomorrow, well and good. Else we might see it in the budget week, which is the upcoming week. But remember, on Saturday we have HDFC Bank results. So if you're carrying your positions overnight, so either calculate the risk that you are okay to take that kind of a position, else hedge it or just skip it. So in case of Bank Nifty, again, as I said, because this resistance has been tested several times, expecting an up move in case of Bank Nifty as well. Just a matter of fact that might happen tomorrow or post HDFC Bank results. But my bias is on the upper side only for now. Now let's go and quickly check the Sensex charts as well. Okay, in case of Sensex, what I'm expecting for tomorrow, I'm expecting this low, like today's low, this puts to go to zero tomorrow. Although I won't advise anyone to go and sell those options. This is just my thinking, and I'm just sharing my views. here, and you are not supposed to take trades at all basis my views. You basically go and check as per your analysis and do whatever it is. Basically, I'm expecting this put to go to zero for tomorrow, although the premiums are really good, so you will get better premiums around these zones as well. So you basically decide as per your risk and take trades only basis your understanding and the risk profile understanding of yours. So this is absolutely not a recommendation. This is purely from educational perspective, just to see what happens tomorrow. In case of Sensex, because we have got a strong closing both in Sensex and Nifty, I'm expecting a gap up opening. Also, the best part is now the global market is also supporting with Dow trading at around 41,200 levels. So I'm expecting, even some support from the global markets as well, and Infi results, which will also give a boost for Nifty and Sensex. Now, if at all we open with a big gap up, I'm expecting market to remain sideways and close at the end of the day in a doji format, if at all we open with a gap up. Now, in case we open flat somewhere around 81,300, and if the market sustains around this level and then it breaks this particular high, of 81,500, then one can go long. With a small SL, one can go long. For smaller targets, of course, because the meat of the move has been already done today. But let's say if it remains sideways, then we can again see a good pull and a flag kind of a pattern here. Now, in case for some reasons we open with a mega gap down, there is nothing to be panicked unless this low is taken out. Then what we can expect, some sort of a strangle might play out tomorrow. So I have discussed all the three scenarios for this particular index, because tomorrow we have an expiry for Sensex. You can apply the same logic for Nifty as well. Of course, Bank Nifty is very different than Nifty and Sensex, because Bank Nifty is still not trading at fresh ATH. So as I mentioned, in Bank Nifty, we have to wait for a clean breakout above 52,800. Only then we can just go long. And I would suggest to avoid Bank Nifty over the weekend, because we have results for HDFC Bank. That's about it. So if you have liked this particular video, so please do hit the like button. And if you need and if you want budget analysis, do let us know on the comment section, so then we can bring up some budget analysis over the weekend. That's about it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Take care.